Who hasn't experienced this? You're sitting in a public place, like a cafe or a restaurant. People around you are talking and laughing, but suddenly you start feeling uncomfortable and anxious. Weird thoughts begin to creep into your mind. Do I look strange? Are people staring at me? Did anyone notice that I'm nervous? Are they talking about me? Do I seem awkward to them? You try to act normal, but inside it feels like everyone around you is focused on you. Or when you stand at the cashier to pay, and there are several people waiting behind you, you feel like you are taking too long. You start to rush, get even more nervous, and maybe drop some items or stumble over your words. Then you go back home, feeling angry at yourself, thinking over and over, why did I act like that? Why couldn't I be normal like everyone else? This feeling is what is called social anxiety. What is social anxiety? Social anxiety is an intense fear of social situations where a person feels as if they are constantly being watched and judged by others. But the truth is, most of the time, the problem isn't the people around us. It's the way we see ourselves and the way we see others. The real cause of social anxiety lies within a person's mindset. It mainly comes down to two things. First, giving other people too much importance and placing a very high value on their opinions. Second, underestimating yourself and feeling less worthy than others. As a result, a person begins to see themselves as inferior and believes that other people's opinions are more important than their own comfort and feelings. A simple example. During a work meeting, you are asked to share an idea or an opinion with the team. Instead of focusing on what you want to say, your mind starts racing with thoughts like, what will they think of me? Will I look unintelligent? You may start stumbling over your words or hesitate to speak at all. In that moment, you are giving other people's opinions more importance than your own confidence. And that is the essence of social anxiety. Why does this feeling develop? It often begins in childhood due to several factors. First, constant criticism. This happens when a child is exposed to continuous negative feedback from parents or their surroundings without enough encouragement to balance it. Over time, the child starts to believe these messages, forming a negative self-image. They begin to feel that they are not good enough, and this affects their confidence and the way they interact with others. Second, comparisons. These appear in phrases like, why can't you be like your sibling? Everyone your age can do this. Why can't you? Simple words, but with a deep impact. They plant a sense of inadequacy and make the person constantly see themselves as less than others. Third, bullying, whether it comes from family, on school, or even online. It leaves a deep emotional mark. It creates feelings of rejection and fear of others. And with repeated phrases like, what will people say? Don't do this so others won't talk about us. The child starts to magnify others' opinions, growing up, believing that people's judgment matters more than their own feelings, which affects both confidence and social behavior. Fourth, lack of social experience. When someone lives in isolation for a long time, then suddenly has to deal with people. They feel anxious because they haven't developed the skills needed to communicate comfortably. The social anxiety cycle. Social anxiety doesn't appear suddenly. It develops and grows over time through a repeated pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And with each repeated experience, a person gets trapped in what is known as the social anxiety cycle, a vicious loop that keeps reinforcing the problem and making it stronger. It often begins with low self-esteem, where a person sees themselves as less than others. This creates a fear of people and their opinions. That fear leads to intense anxiety in social situations. The person starts to feel tense, overwhelmed, and then their behavior reflects it. They may stumble over their words, avoid speaking, or act in a visibly nervous way. After that comes the feeling of embarrassment. They replay what happened in their mind, overthinking every detail, which increases their fear even more the next time. And so, the cycle repeats again and again until, over time, it becomes deeper, stronger, and harder to break. How to break free from the cycle? You can break this cycle in several ways. First, boost your self-esteem. When you see yourself as a person of value, your fear of being judged by others decreases. Over time, your confidence begins to grow and your anxiety in social situations lessens. Remember, you deserve the same as anyone else. You have the right to your time, to be treated with respect, and to feel comfortable without forcing yourself to please others. Second, correct false beliefs about others. First idea: people are always watching me. The truth is, most people are more focused on themselves than you realize. Everyone has their own thoughts and concerns. Someone might notice you for a few seconds when you enter a room, but they quickly return to their own life. You are not the center of everyone's attention, as your mind may make you feel. Second idea: if someone looks at me, there must be something wrong with me. This is not true. It's just a negative assumption. Often, it might even be the opposite. They might notice your style, your actions, or even your appearance in a positive way. How you feel depends largely on how you interpret the situation. Third idea: people never make mistakes. This is unrealistic. Everyone makes mistakes and faces embarrassing moments. The difference is that some people don't focus on them or show them to others. Mistakes are a normal part of life for everyone. Fourth idea: people will always remember my embarrassing moments. In reality, most of these moments are quickly forgotten. People don't hold on to details of others' embarrassing moments as much as we think they might forget within minutes. Everyone is more focused on their own experiences than yours. Third, change your inner self-talk. Everyone has an inner critic. It repeats negative phrases like, I'm a failure, I'm weird, or no one likes me. Over time, you may start believing them as truths. But the reality is, these are just thoughts. They are not fixed facts. The solution: stop and confront these thoughts instead of surrendering to them. Write down the thought that is bothering you. Then ask yourself honestly, is this really true or am I exaggerating? Now imagine a close friend feels the same way. What would you say to them? You would support them, not attack them. Do the same for yourself. Speak to yourself with kindness and balanced words. This helps you see things more realistically and with compassion. Fourth, build social experience. Social skills improve with practice. Try to attend social events, talk to people, greet and interact with others. Fifth, manage your emotions. At its core, social anxiety is a feeling of fear. Fear is not a flaw, it is a natural emotion that can be managed. When you start noticing your feelings instead of being carried away by them, you become better at calming yourself. You can do this through deep breathing, which reduces physical tension. Take a moment before responding instead of rushing. Accept that making mistakes is normal and does not require overreacting or excessive worry. With practice, as you become more aware and organized with your emotions, social anxiety will have less impact and social situations will become easier to handle. Remember, feeling fear does not mean you are weak. It is often the result of accumulated thoughts and false beliefs over time. Try to adjust the way you view yourself, how you see others, and how you handle social situations. Gradually, you will notice that the fear you felt was greater than it actually was. Also, keep in mind this simple truth: Most people are focused on their own lives, not judging you. Focus on yourself and don't let fear control your actions.